China's new energy sector, containment and breakthrough under the EU Industrial Act. 500 gigawatts versus 2 gigawatts. Behind the shocking capacity gap, how is China's new energy industry breaking through EU containment? Why does the EU talk of decoupling, yet cannot live without Chinese-made PV modules? On March 4, 2026, the EU officially unveiled the draft Net Zero Industry Act, NZIA, sending shockwaves through the global new energy community. Centered on EU manufacturing first. The legislation directly targets key segments such as photovoltaic inverters and solar cells. Anyone with insight can see it is designed to reduce reliance on China's new energy supply chain and pave the way for its domestic industries. Yet the most counterintuitive reality emerged, merely 1 week after the draft was published. Despite the EU's self-initiated containment, many European PV companies quietly placed rush orders with Chinese suppliers. A German manufacturer even stated bluntly, "Without Chinese modules, we will fail to meet this year's emission reduction targets." What explains this paradox? The answer is simple, and can be summed up with a down-to-earth analogy. It is like cooking. The EU has prepared the pots, with sufficient inverter capacity, but no rice, with a severe shortage of solar cell capacity. China, by contrast, holds the vast majority of the world's rice. Even more eye-opening, China does not only have the rice, it controls the entire process from growing the rice to cooking the meal. Across the 4 core PV manufacturing stages, China's global share exceeds 80% in every segment, with silicon wafers reaching an astonishing 97%. In other words, 97 out of every 100 silicon wafers worldwide come from China. In this article, we unpack this game of containment and breakthrough, revealing the hidden logic driving the global new energy transition. The EU's containment, while appearing aggressive, is in fact trapped in a self-contradictory dilemma. I know Mark, an energy analyst based in Brussels, who has grown increasingly anxious lately, poring over day after day in his office. His job is to track the EU's domestic new energy capacity, and one set of figures troubles him most. The EU's domestic inverter capacity stands at 142 GW, far exceeding its local demand of 70 gigawatts. Yet its solar cell capacity is a mere 2 GW, while China's exceeds 500 GW, 250 times that of the EU. More crucially, the cost of producing solar cells within the EU is 30%, 40% higher than in China. This means that a complete ban on Chinese cells would send the cost of European PV projects soaring, potentially raising the price of residential solar panel installations by nearly half. Mark complained to me that at an internal EU meeting last week, one official admitted openly, "We want to end our dependence, but reality won't allow it." A French business representative even retorted, "Are we supposed to abandon our carbon neutrality goals just for local production?" Objectively speaking, the EU's original intention may have been to safeguard supply chain security and revitalize its domestic industry. After all, in 2024, manufacturing accounted for only 14.3% of the EU's GDP, well below its target. The Act is a continuation of its reindustrialization strategy, yet this protectionist approach of building walls and barriers has backfired, leaving the bloc stuck in the awkward position of wanting to decouple but unable to let go. It ignores the deep integration of the global new energy supply chain and underestimates the irreplaceability of China in core sectors, which could ultimately slow down its own decarbonization progress. China's advantages in the new energy industry are no accident. They are the result of long-term market competition and technological iteration, as reflected in the choices of European and American companies. A friend of mine, Lena, works in procurement at a major German PV firm. She told me they did try partnering with European solar cell manufacturers, but the experience was terrible. On one occasion, they placed a 1 gigawatt order with a Spanish supplier, which delayed delivery by 3 months, required 2 reworks due to quality issues, and ended up costing 35% more than sourcing from China. By contrast, Chinese suppliers deliver on time, maintain stable quality, and offer more competitive prices. This is why many European companies remain willing to cooperate with China despite EU containment policies. Notably, China's edge goes beyond cost. It lies in technology. In the polysilicon sector, for example, Chinese companies have mastered the core improved Siemens process, raising polysilicon purity to over 99.9999%. Most European and American firms still rely on traditional techniques, lagging behind in both purity and efficiency. A comparison of global polysilicon capacity speaks for itself. The United States accounts for only 2%. Germany less than 1%. China dominates with 90%. Polysilicon output from Xinjiang alone exceeds that of all other countries combined. China's rise in new energy has shattered the stereotype that innovation can only come from the West. It is not a short-lived boom supported by policy subsidies, but a sustainable model built on continuous corporate R&D investment, a complete supply chain ecosystem, and rapid responsiveness to market demand, one that may offer a new reference for other nations. Faced with EU containment, Chinese companies have not engaged in head-on confrontation. Instead, they have adopted a flexible breakthrough strategy, forging a path of mutual benefit. The model of Chinese technology plus European manufacturing stands out as the most representative example. I know Wang Hao, an engineer from CATL, who was assigned to the company's Hungarian factory last year. He shared a detail. When building the plant in Hungary, CATL brought not only Chinese battery production technology but also hired a large local workforce. CATL alone has created more than 10,000 local jobs in Hungary and cultivated a new cohort of new energy technicians through university-enterprise partnerships. Beyond CATL, BYD, Got-Ion High-Tech, and other Chinese firms have also set up production bases in Hungary, Slovakia, and elsewhere, with a total investment of Euro 17 billion. Once completed, CATL's Hungarian factory is expected to become Europe's largest power battery plant, supplying renowned automakers including BMW and Mercedes-Benz. Chinese companies have also shown greater ingenuity by circumventing restrictions through third-country hubs and expanding into emerging markets. For instance, some module production capacity has been shifted to Turkey, Morocco, and other countries with free trade agreements with the EU, then exported to Europe. This approach complies with EU rules while preserving market share. This breakthrough strategy demonstrates both the agility of Chinese enterprises and the resilience of the global new energy supply chain. Rather than falling into a zero-sum game, it leverages localized cooperation to bring Chinese technology to Europe while helping create jobs and drive industrial upgrading on the continent. This may well be the optimal response to technological containment, not isolation, but win-win collaboration. At its core, this strategic game between the EU and China in new energy reflects a broader global challenge: how countries balance industrial security and mutually beneficial cooperation in the carbon neutrality transition. As humanity, we share the common thread of climate change. The development of the new energy industry has never been a solo act by any single nation, but a global endeavor requiring joint effort and complementary strengths. The EU's containment stems fundamentally from anxiety over its industrial competitiveness and a misjudgment of the integrated global supply chain. China's breakthrough, meanwhile, not only defends its own advantages but also offers a vision of cooperation over confrontation. Now I want to ask you, the viewers, do you believe the EU's Net Zero Industry Act can achieve its goal of reindustrialization? What further challenges may lie ahead for China's new energy sector as it breaks through external restrictions? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Follow me for ongoing coverage of this game-changing competition shaping the global new energy landscape. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. ####. 1. Net Zero Industry Act, NZIA. ///PV inverter /solar cells /silicon wafer /polysilicon. 2. 500 GW /2 GW 97% 30% 40% 170. 3. 4. // Mark /Lena /1 House CTLBYD. 5.